The American middle class is drowning. What used to be the backbone of our economy, the symbol of prosperity and stability, is now struggling to survive. Things that were once considered basic middle-class standards are now luxury items that most families simply cannot afford. Today, we're going through 15 things that have become impossible for the average middle-class family. And trust me, by the end of this video, you'll understand just how broken our system really is. Let's start with the foundation of the American dream itself. 1. Unaffordable housing prices. Let's talk about the most fundamental part of the American dream, owning a home. It used to be the standard marker of middle-class success, but today, it's becoming impossible.
Let's talk about how the housing unaffordability crisis is one of the biggest causes to the U.S. becoming less pro-family every single day. The average household income in the U.S. can no longer afford you the average home in the U.S., and that's a huge problem, but it's really hard to blame young people and young couples for putting off having kids or avoiding having kids altogether when they can hardly support themselves, let alone children. In 1991, the average first-time home buyer was 28 years old. Today, the average first-time home buyer is 38 years old. So people aren't buying homes until they're almost 40 years old. And at that point, you're almost past your childbearing years. If we want our country to be more pro-family and we want people to be encouraged to get married and have kids, then we need a better environment and conditions for that to happen. If the fundamental building block of a healthy society is the family, then we simply can't ignore how economic structures, particularly the cost of housing, influences family life. We need to build more homes. We need to build more homes with additional dwelling units so that primary homeowners can rent those spaces out, and we need to ban corporations or other institutional investors from buying residential properties. Affordable housing should be a right for everyone, but without the right systems and the right conditions, housing will just continue to be a privilege only for the wealthy.
She's absolutely right. In 1991, first-time buyers were 28 years old. Today, it's 38. That's an entire decade lost. Homes now cost 10 times annual income versus 3 times in the 1970s. Affordable homes in middle-class neighborhoods declined 61% since 2019. When corporations buy properties like trading cards, what chance do families have? 2. Skyrocketing vehicle costs. You need a car to get to work. But what happens when cars become so expensive that you can't afford the thing that gets you to your job?
Car loan delinquency is up. Not a surprise, as I have posted about this before. The average used car payment new car payment is almost $800 a month. The average used car payment is almost $555 a month. The amount of delinquency is close to what it was in 2006. And you know what happened after that. If you have a car that you can't afford, try to maybe sell the car, trade the car in for something less, buy something cheaper. It might not be today, but let's work on being better about our car. A paid off car is life-changing, and you can always upgrade as you go. Like, follow, share for all things personal finance.
Car loan delinquency is hitting 2006 levels. We know what happened next. Average new car payment, $800 monthly. Used cars, $555. Interest rates on used car loans reached 10.25%. Insurance jumped 25% in some states. Until the mid-2000s, 2 vehicles per household was standard. Now it's a luxury. You're paying premium prices for depreciating assets just to stay employed. 3. Healthcare cost explosion. Healthcare in America isn't about keeping people healthy. It's about extracting maximum profit from people who have no choice but to pay.
Okay, so it's official. After 17 years, we're losing our health insurance, and we don't have a plan yet. And I don't know what we're gonna do. Like, we've had great insurance for the last 17 years and never had to worry about anything. And now It's overwhelming, it's expensive, and there's so many options. So if you're self-employed, tell me what we're doing. Like what are the best options out there? What have y'all found? I mean, I've looked at like the Christian healthcare ministries and the Texas Farm Bureau healthcare and private stuff. Just so many, there's so many, I don't know. Self-pay? Like, are we self-paying? Like, it seems like such a good option until something catastrophic happens, and then what do you do then? I don't know. I don't have much time left though, and we haven't figured anything out. So tell me what y'all are doing. Tell me what you found that works. Tell me what's the best option. All right, y'all keep ranching.
17 years of coverage gone overnight. Health insurance premiums rise 5 times faster than wages. Family plans jumped 63% from 2010 to 2022, climbing from $13,770 to $22,463. Wages up only 1.9% annually. Insurance costs up 6.7%. The math doesn't work. It's designed to bankrupt the middle class, one premium at a time. 4. Child care crisis. How is a society supposed to sustain itself when people can't afford to have children?
There is a childcare crisis in America right now, and nobody cares, and it needs to be talked about. For reference, I have 2 children, one that's going to be 3 in August and one 4-month-old baby. We just got the new tuition rates for the upcoming school year at the daycare center. For the infant, it will be for 5 days full-time, $1,940. For the preschooler, it will be $1,530. We get a 10% discount for having multiple children. That still comes out to $3,123 a month. And I don't know if you're good at math or not, but that turns out to be $37,476 per year. Now, if you follow me at the Modern Mom Project, you know that I lead a tech team for a very big company, and my husband and I are not scraping for pennies, but this rate is absolutely insane even for us. So I would like to know how the average family in America is dealing with the cost of these childcare costs, because this is not an isolated case. We're not at the top tier of daycares. This is what it's like right now for parents living in the United States. And for those of you who will say, well, this was your life choice, this and that, let me tell you something. This rate has gone up $400 since my daughter was born 3 years ago. So in 3 years, it's gone up by $400 a month. And that's not something that we could have foreseen or something that we could have ever planned for. And besides that, that's not the point. We should be investing in our children. You're already paying taxes for a war that you didn't want. You're already paying taxes for roads that you don't drive. So why wouldn't we invest in our young children that are someday going to be our doctors, our engineers, our lawyers, our everything? So let's bring awareness. Right now in the comments, parents, please comment below what hoops you're jumping through to have childcare. How are you navigating being a working family, a working parent situation? We should have more support. It should be federally funded. And if you believe that too, follow us here at the Modern Mom Project.
$37,476 per year for 2 kids. This rate increased 400% in 3 years. Average preschool costs $13,655 per child annually, more than K-12 public school spending per student. The government considers 7% of income affordable. We're at 16%. Most developed countries offer public preschool. America does not. We're forcing families to choose between children and financial stability. 5. Forced dual income trap. The single income household is dead. Both parents have to work multiple jobs and they still fall behind.
I have 3 jobs and I'm still struggling. I am a teacher. I tutor. after school. I just got through with one of my tutoring sessions actually, and I also make content. I have one full-time job with full benefits and then 2 part-time / contract jobs, and I am still struggling. The solution is not to get a 4th job. There's something wrong with this world. Something has got to give to where we live in a world where people can work multiple jobs and they're still struggling. What does that say? Like, the solution isn't you need another job or you're just lazy and you don't want to work. We're working multiple jobs. What more do we have to do in order to live comfortably in this world? I think it's ridiculous.
3 jobs and still struggling. In the 1970s, 49% of women with kids under 18 were stay-at-home moms. Today, 83% of middle-class families cannot survive on just one income. Both parents have to work, yet purchasing power barely moved since the 1970s. Our grandparents had one factory job and afforded houses, cars, and vacations. We work more and we have less. 6. Savings collapse. What's the point of working if you can't save anything? If every dollar is spent before you earn it?
Could you explain this to me? Why? At 54 years old, and my husband's almost 60, our whole entire life, well, not entire life, but you know what I mean, our adult life, we have worked hard. We have raised 2 beautiful kids. We've paid our bills. We've paid our taxes. We are nowhere in life. We still live paycheck to paycheck every week or every 2 weeks. Our retirement, little, very, 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 very little. Where did we go wrong? We're good. Blessings for that. Good family life. You know, we didn't do extravagant things in our life. We're still struggling paycheck to paycheck. But there again, we don't have much and we want to retire. I want to retire before I'm in a wheelchair or I can't walk. I want to be 90 and not retire. So if you have any answers, please let me know. I have one that I found. And if you're in this situation and would like to know more information, put purpose in the comments and let's get together and talk.
This couple did everything right. Worked hard, raised kids, paid taxes. They have nothing. 74% of households earning $60,000 to $100,000 cannot save, up from 66% 1 year ago. Families spend 35% on basics, 30% on housing, 17% on health care. Nothing left for savings. One emergency away from ruin. 7. The retirement dream is dead. Retirement used to be the reward for a lifetime of work. Now it's a fantasy most have accepted they will never experience.
I think I used to be like everybody that would think, oh, can't wait to retire one day. You know, you're going to work your whole life, you know, waste it all working, and then one day you'll be able to retire, that magical moment, and kind of go relax, maybe do a little traveling, sleep in, not stress about anything, just know that you're retired. I've accepted the fact that I'll probably never retire. Actually, I don't know how I could. So I now just think of life a little differently. I'm just like, well, I'll just live day to day and I'll enjoy my life as is. And when it's over, it's over. But there's no retirement. Like, it's not even possible. So am I the only one that has switched his way of thinking like that? Like, I just feel like there's just going to be a point where you just fall over. It's over for you, but there won't be that retirement before it. You're just going to work until it's over. That's it.
He's not pessimistic. He's realistic. Social Security faces insolvency by 2034. Pensions are extinct. 64% of middle-class Americans believe they'll be worse off this year. The retirement age rises while working-class life expectancy drops. Work longer, die sooner. That's the new American dream. 8. credit card dependency epidemic. When you can't afford necessities with cash, you use credit. When credit becomes survival, you're trapped forever.
I'm $89,000 in credit card debt, and I'm here to break down my cards to tell you how much I have on each card and what my payment is each month on each card. I'm going to start with the smallest card and work my way up to the highest card. I do have 11 credit cards, so we're going to be here for a minute. The longer that you watch, the higher my payment is. So do your girl a favor and watch to the end. My first card is our Carter's credit card. It has $199 on it. My monthly payment is $30. My second card, Old Navy. It has $362 on it and a monthly payment of $30. Third card is our Citi card. It has $1,742 on it and the monthly payment is $85. Fourth is Shields. It has $3,057 on it and our monthly payment is $95. Next up is our Discover card. That has $4,969 on it and our payment is $135 a month. Next up is Chase. That has $5,615 on it and our payment is $153 a month. Next up is my personal Military Star card. That has $7,860 on it. The payment is $170 a month. Next up is my husband's Military Star card. That has $8,095 on it and the payment is $175. These are the fun ones. Next up is our Visa Platinum. That has $11,503 on it and our monthly payment is $285. Our Visa Cash Rewards card, that has a total of $20,371 on it and our monthly payment is $520. Last but not least is our American Express that has $25,371 on it and our payment is $620 a month. The total on these cards a little bit more than I said on a previous video because they have been hit with some interest since then. So our total is $89,203 and that brings our total monthly payments up to $2,298. Follow along and watch me pay these off over the next few years.
$89,203 in debt across 11 credit cards. Monthly payments $2,298. This isn't luxury spending. 49% of middle-income earners rely on credit cards for basic needs. 43% expect to add more debt in 6 months. The reason? Necessities, emergencies, health care. It's a death spiral designed to keep the middle class enslaved to banks. 9. Urban rent crisis. Major cities are becoming playgrounds for the wealthy, while the middle class gets pushed out.
This might be one of the sickest things that I have seen in quite some time. Okay, I live in St. Pete, Florida. I have a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom apartment. It's $32.75, but I got 2 months free, so I pay $27.72 each month. I love my apartment. I have no issues with it whatsoever and would love to stay here, but I've also considered moving to another apartment if I see something that looks cool, right? There is an apartment opening in downtown St. Pete. And I've been waiting for them to release their pricing data, their pricing information, because it was not on their website. Their pictures looked beautiful. Everything looks stunning. Location's great, right? They released their prices. Are you ready for this? Okay. A 1-bedroom of 797 square feet, not even 800, 797 square feet, $3,200 for 1 bed, 1 bedroom. Okay, and that price climbs if you go up to a higher floor or depending on the direction that your apartment faces. A 2-bedroom at this apartment, $4,750, up to $5,300. Same thing if you go on a higher floor, $5,300. Am I crazy for thinking that's insane? Insane, okay? I recognize the privilege of being able to afford the apartment that I currently have. The fact that I, as a single individual, can afford a $27.72, so basically $2,800 a month apartment. Yes, that is already a very high price to pay for an apartment. $4,750 for a 2-bedroom is insane. I don't care if there is a chandelier in the living room. I don't care if you're picking my trash up at my door. I don't care if you're wiping my feet when I come in the house. I don't care. I'm not paying $47.50 for an apartment under any circumstance. Nor do I think that somebody who's splitting that apartment with a roommate should have to pay that much. That is over $2,300 per person for a 2-bedroom apartment. You're paying $2,300 a month to live with a roommate. That is sick. And $3,200 for a 1-bedroom? For one bedroom. I'm blown away. I knew the prices were gonna be higher, but I figured they'd be similar to the other complexes in the area, and I don't think that is true. This is St. Pete, Florida. St. Petersburg, Florida. Again, beautiful city. $3,200 for a 1-bedroom type of city? No. This is no hate to the complex either. I'm sure that this is not an arbitrary price. I'm sure they're using, pricing models on the back end that say that this is a fair price for this unit based on the rental market, but I disagree. If you have butlers and things, I don't know, people cooking for me every day, sure, maybe, but $47.50 for a 2-bed and $3,200 for a 1-bedroom that's sick.
$3,200 for 1 bedroom, $4,750 for 2 bedrooms in St. Petersburg, Florida. Not Manhattan. Lease signing in major cities requires $12,000 up front. 1/3 of middle-class neighborhoods gentrified since the pandemic. Families are priced out of cities where they work. The time to commute to work lengthens. The quality of life drops. Rent keeps rising. 10. Never having a vacation. Taking a family vacation used to be basic middle-class activity, but many Americans have never experienced this at all.
I've never been on vacation, and it affects me so much because it's like other people get to enjoy the world so easily and with their families, and they can get to go out anywhere. Meanwhile, I haven't been anywhere at all. Here I am, stuck at home, job searching, unemployed. And even when I was a kid or a teenager, even then I haven't been on vacation, simply because my family cannot afford to do so. And it just sucks. It's like the world is telling me that just because you don't have this thing called cash or money, you don't get to enjoy this world. You don't get to discover all the great things. Like, I feel like when you travel, it helps so much with your mental health because you're outside. You get to see all of these incredible things. You get to experience different cultures. Being at home and not being able to experience the world sucks because it just makes you realize that you don't have the money for it. And I want to work hard so that I have the money for it. I just want to travel. I want to see so much of the world, man. I want to see so much of it.
She's never been on vacation, not once in her entire life. Not as a child, not as a teenager, not as an adult, because her family couldn't afford it. A 2015 Pew survey ranked vacationability as the 3rd most important middle-class marker. For millions of Americans, travel isn't about luxury destinations. It's about simply experiencing the world. And they can't. 11. Disney and theme parks. Disney used to be where middle-class families took their kids once a year. Now it's priced like a luxury resort.
Disney prices are completely out of control. I live a 1.5 miles from Disneyland in Anaheim, California. And I've lived in this place for about the last 3 years. And so I saw an ad the other day that said ticket price reduced to $150 per person. And I was like, reduced? They cost $150 per person now? So I went and looked it up to share this information with you guys because I can't quite believe it. So typical family in America is 4 people, 2 adults, 2 children. So let's look at the prices for a typical family of four to go to Disney for one day. This does not even include flights if you're not in the area, or gas if you need to drive here. So tickets are $179 each for two adults. That's $358. $169 each for two children, so $338, totaling $696. Are you kidding me? Holy cow. Okay, now let's get to food and drinks. These are going to be some estimates. So about $60 to $90 per person times four people. And that's $240 to $360 for the four of you for the day. Now, when we talk about the park tickets, understand that they have what's called date-based or peak day pricing, meaning that if it's an off-peak day, it'll be cheaper. If it's a peak day, it'll be more. So it can go up and down. Food and drinks, that includes like quick service meals, snacks, drinks. Sit-down dining is going to push that up higher. Okay? Now, parking is always $35. If you try to Uber in, it's probably going to cost at least that anyway. So kind of a wash there. You're going to have to pay for parking. Souvenirs, also $100 to $200, because you know you can't take your kid to Disney without them at least getting a t-shirt or a plushie or whatever they call it now. Depends on how much you want to spend there. Now, hotel, if you're going to stay for the night, is going to be between $150 and $300, and that's only skippable if you happen to live within a couple hours of Disney, which most people don't. So base, we're talking about $1,200 average, anywhere from $1,100 to $1,600 if you have a hotel for one day for a family at Disney. $1,200 average. Does that seem insane to anybody else that it should cost that much to go to Disney for one day? Does this seem absolutely insane to anybody else when they hear these prices? Because to me, this is nuts. Maybe it should cost $100 each for parents to get into the park, $50 each for kids. They're gonna make money on you on snacks, on toys, on games, on everything else anyway. Does it have to be this expensive, or am I just completely out of touch with how much things should cost? Because I wouldn't take my family here for these prices, and I live a mile and a half away. I'm not paying this, would you?
Disney charges $1,200 to $1,600 for one day for a family of four, and that's just entry. In the early 2000s, a 4-day pass cost $280 for a family. Today, just getting in costs $1,580. Add hotel, food, souvenirs, and you're looking at thousands. This isn't the happiest place on earth anymore. It's a wealth builder. 12 concert ticket prices. Live music has been financialized and priced out of reach for the fans who made the artist famous.
Has anyone else just accepted the fact that concerts are just not for you? Like, I've been a fan of Lady Gaga for forever. I've been a fan of Ariana Grande for forever. Bad Bunny. Concert tickets to the Mayhem Ball were $1,100. I couldn't even get my hands on Bad Bunny or Ariana Grande tickets if I wanted to. Jesus Christ himself could be on that stage and I will still not spend a 1 week to Europe vacation amount of money to see an artist for 2 hours. It goes against literally everything that I know and love. When Michael Jackson was performing, when he was touring, it never got this bad, and he was way bigger than each and every single one of these artists. Same with Madonna. My friends who tried buying those Ariana Grande tickets, they got on the website as soon as the pre-sale opened. 30,000 people in front of them, tickets already sold out. It's just cooked. It's just cooked.
$1,100 for concert tickets. In 1990, average tickets cost between $11 and $52.60 adjusted for inflation. In 2022, over $200. That's 4 times higher than inflation predicts. Prices jumped 18% in 1 year. Dynamic pricing, bots, corporate consolidation turned live music into an exclusive experience for the wealthy only. 13. Sports events. Sports used to bring communities together. Now stadiums sit empty because tickets cost more than people make in a week.
So I was just watching the Osaka versus Anisimova US Open match right now, and you know what struck me? How empty that stadium was. Take a look. I tried to capture it, but look at the seats. Look at how many empty seats there are. And you know what the crazy thing is? We wanted to go to the US Open, but the tickets were so insanely expensive this year. I mean, they're never cheap, but they were $700, $800, $1,200 for one. And here you have two elite players number 8 and number 23 in the world, and they're playing to an empty stadium. They would rather have them play to an empty stadium than sell tickets for a decent price. And they're not cheap. They're never cheap. But unless they're making an insane amount of money on us, they'd rather have it be empty.
Elite players in an empty stadium. Tickets cost $700 to $1,200. They'd rather play to empty seats than lower prices. From 1997 to 2022, prices jumped 117.54%. A $100 ticket in 1997 cost $217.54 today. Sports was for everyone. Now it's just for corporate sponsors and the wealthy. 14. Cable and internet costs. Even watching TV and getting online has become unaffordable. Bills exceed what people pay for utilities.
$300 Xfinity wants now a month for internet, cable, and a landline phone that I don't even need. I had gotten a bill last month when it was $280, and I called and I was like, is there anything that you can do for me? And the guy was like, basically, no, this is it. We're not doing any contracts right now. We're not doing any specials. Like, basically, you're SOL. And I was like, this sucks. And then, I got busy. I got sick. My next bill came, and it was $300 this time. And if you live with somebody that is a sports fan, that has always kind of been the sticking point, is wanting to have the sports stuff. And I kept the cable for him. But I told him the other day, I was like, you know what? I don't think we're going to be doing this anymore. I cannot see paying like $200 a month for you to watch football. Realizing that YouTube TV would have it. So that's about $70 a month. I'm Xfinity this morning and talked to someone, and I was like, I just want to cancel these two things. They said the internet was still going to be $140, which I think is still steep. But again, they have no deals. He couldn't give me any price break, couldn't get me any agreement, nothing like that. And that just makes me think, what's going on with Xfinity? Why do they not have any deals right now? Something's fishy there. Are they being bought out? Are they being bought out? Are they something's changing? I don't know. Can't put my finger on it. I'll work on that and see if I can go with a different company. The downfall is I have my cell phone service through Xfinity Mobile. So if I cancel my internet service, then I'm going to pay $25 per line, 3 lines a month. Everything keeps going up, and this is just kind of the new norm of trying to survive and keep ahead of these price gouging things.
$300 monthly for internet, cable, and a phone line she doesn't use. Xfinity won't negotiate. Average cable package, $217.42 monthly, exceeding utility costs. That's $2,609 yearly. In the 1980s, 10 channels were completely free. Streaming was the affordable alternative. Now, multiple subscriptions add up just as fast. 15. The millennial trap. An entire generation trapped in a system designed to keep them poor, regardless of effort.
Someone said the average millennial is 36 years old and has nothing to their name, and they're living basically paycheck to paycheck with roommates in their 30s, not married, no kids because they can't afford it. And in fact, what they do have is a bunch of debt. So their future self already knows that they're going to be broke, they're going to be poor. So we're essentially in a trap that we literally cannot get out of, no matter how much we work, no matter how many jobs we have. A lot of people have a full-time job during the week and then Uber on the weekends just to make some extra money. That in itself sets you up for depression. I mean, think about working and having nothing to show for it. No savings, no investments, no house, nothing. Then you have their parents, the baby boomers, who are essentially the richest generation ever, who were able to support a family on one income, educated, have a house, savings, retirement. So where's this American dream that we've heard of? It's now turned into the baby boomer dream because you can't even get better than what your parents had.
Average millennial, 36 years old, with nothing. Paycheck to paycheck with roommates, unmarried, no kids, drowning in debt. Many work full-time and Uber on weekends. Meanwhile, boomers are the wealthiest generation ever. they had single incomes, houses, savings, college, retirement, where the first generation expected to be worse off than our parents. The middle-class lifestyle that existed until 1990 is now completely dead. 15 things the middle class can no longer afford: housing, vehicles, healthcare, childcare, single-income households, savings, retirement, avoiding debt, urban living, vacations, Disney, concerts, sports, cable, and the life their parents enjoyed. The middle class is being systematically destroyed by design. If we don't wake up, there won't be a middle class left to save. Let me know in the comments which hits closest to home for you. Thank you for watching.